Hello everyone and welcome to another Bitesize Bat Rep, in which we focus on the tactics of each turn rather than the dice rolling. In today's game we have got the Harlequins, who are currently being overshadowed by their Craftworld brothers, as well as having suffered a few nerfs from 9th edition. They'll be taking on the Deathwatch, who are sitting in an interesting place. They can be seen right at the top of the meta with certain builds, but at the same time the more generalist builds are probably suffering from all the same issues that the Space Marines are. Today's mission is priority targets, so you score 5 points for holding 1 objective and 5 points for holding 2. And then at the end of the battle you can score up to 15 points for holding up to 3 objectives. Both players have gone tactical and there is no additional special rules, so we're playing Chilling Rain. The mission layout and terrain layout are all from the UKTC mission pack. If you enjoy this video, please do consider giving us a like and a subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from, and we do have a Patreon as well, which we would love for you to check out. Let's head down to the battlefield. 2,000 points of Harlequins plus the Incarn. In terms of characters, we've got the Solitaire to be a sneaky character hunter. We've got the Death Jester with the Exploding Sixes and Fate's Messenger. Got the Incarn to teleport and go wherever she likes. And the Troop Master, who does not very much anymore, but is going to be leading a 12-man. Then got 5 units of 5 in 5 Star Weavers. And a very exciting 12-man blob of Doom. 3 Lone Void Weavers for the Dakka. And finally 2 units of 2 Skyweavers for objective play and to maybe be a bit nasty to the odd vehicle.
Today we are running 2,000 points of Deathwatch with the Black Spear Task Force detachment. So today we have 5 characters leading the army. The Watchmaster gives the advanced charge and everything. We've got a Terminator Chaplain, a Lieutenant and a Captain with Thunderhammer and the Thief of Secrets. And then we also have on the corner the Chaplain on a bike. The anvil of this army is the 10-man brick of Deathwatch Terminators. The core of the army is 4 squads of Deathwatch veterans and an intercessor squad. Mix of weapon loadouts, 4 units of 5-man and the unit of 10 with the devastating wound bolt guns. And rounding out the army we have a unit of 3 Eradicators, the 5 bikes, and a Contemptor Dreadnought.
Hello everyone, welcome to the battlefield for Harlequins versus Deathwatch. Alex, what cunning plan have you got with your deployment?
My deployment consisted of hide,
Excellent.
mostly.
Yep.
But we got bikes here ready to sweep round to the flank, unit of the veterans just ready to either deep strike or push on somewhere. Got brick of lads at home. Intercessors, sticky that, but as and when everything dies. Terminators and Eradicators up on my right flank, ready to again pressure some objectives and hopefully not die instantly. And then the Contemptor just in the middle, just a big lad.
Yeah, he's just being a lad. I come back on a 2-up.
Yep, hopefully. Cool.
And in terms of Harlequins, so we've got 2 Void Weavers, Star Weaver and 2 bikes there. Then we've got just kind of like solid backfield here with Mrs. Incarn ready to go do her thing if I ever manage to kill anything. And then over here we've got the big brick ready for a counter charge and then a bit more shooting as well. Harlequins are going first, which is not ideal on this mission because you score nicely for holding objectives at the end of the game. But we will see what we can do. We will be back for the end of Harlequin movement phase turn 1. Okay, so the 2 Harlequin cards are Cleanse, which is do actions on objectives, and Behind Enemy Lines. Okay, so Harlequin movement phase for turn 1 is complete. We are obviously just trying to score our cards early on and not get blatted away too quickly. So these bikes have come over here to Cleanse. They can advance to do an action because they've got Assault. And then over here 5 troops got out to Cleanse on top of that. In order to score my Behind Enemy Lines, the Harlequin troops are here and they're going to try and charge in there. They won't die on the fight back because he's only got 4 attacks. In terms of target priority, this Void Weaver's out here just to try and soften up the Dreadnought. And then over on this side, a Void Weaver and a Death Jester are going to start plinking away into the 10-man Terminator brick, and we'll just go from there. Alex very kindly pointed out that he could just pick up his 10 Terminators and whack them there at the end of his turn. So my bikes have gone just to screen out that area, which, you know, could be interesting. So we'll come back and let you know how it went next. Oh, what an exciting turn. Wow, first of all, the Death Jester went huge onto the Terminators, but unfortunately they made all their saves. But then the Void Weaver managed to kill two. So two are dead, and they then had to take a battle shot test, which would have been good, because if they'd failed, it meant he couldn't then pick them up. Unfortunately, he made it. And then the Void Weaver went into this Terminator and did quite a lot of damage. And then the guys, the Harlequin troops, started firing into him, and he was nearly dead already. We had this ridiculous situation. I had to use a 1 on my fate dice to avoid killing him because I needed the charge distance. I then used a 3 on my fate dice and rolled the inevitable 1, which meant my 4-inch charge was 4, which was perfect because it meant that I could kind of then come over to here and then pile in and consolidate around. I did kill the Contemptor, who has then stood back up and outside of engagement range. So I did score my cleanse and I did score my behind enemy lines. Alex now chooses whether to pick some units up for a CP, and then we'll come back to tell you what cards he has drawn. Alex has drawn Deployed Teleport Homer, and he has drawn Secure No Man's Land. Right, Deathwatch movement phase is complete. Alex, talk us through it.
So the Dreadnought that managed to get back up is going to walk to the middle of the table and deploy a Teleport Homer for the 3 points, because there's no way I was getting in the deployment zone. We've spread wide with the Terminators and the bikes, just trying to put some pressure on in the following turns. There was a decent charge into the jet bikes on the centre objective, but Chris managed to phantasm away.
Skills.
Yep, so very promptly I made that a vectored stratagem, so just keep bleeding CP. The Eradicators have nudged their nose back in case I kill the Harlequin troop with shooting, and an Incarn-shaped lad turns up in my deployment zone.
Yep.
But we're just trying to keep it a little bit cagey. We'll see if we can charge onto the 2 points to score the Secure No Man's Land.
And we'll let you know how that goes. Right, Deathwatch turn 1 is complete. How did it go, Alex?
So we got our little Teleport Homer in the middle with the Contemptor.
Cheeky.
We, unsurprisingly, failed an 11-inch charge with the Terminators, which would have been nice. Would have scored me my hold the middle 2, because the bikes did charge in to the Harlequin jet bikes, somehow managed to fail to kill them, but didn't lose anything in return, and got one of the objectives. Positioned well enough, moving on to try and survive turn 2.
Absolutely. So Harlequin's obviously going to try and score some cards and see if we can hurt some stuff. No Incarn teleport yet, so we'll see how that goes in turn 2. Harlequins have drawn a tempting target and storm hostile objective. Okay, so the Harlequin movement phase turn 2 is complete. In line with my cards, this is my tempting target, and I need to storm hostile this objective, because it's the only one that Alex currently has. So these bikers are going to die, hopefully. With that in mind, we've got 2 bikes that have got multiple shooting targets. We've got Void Weaver, Shuriken Cannon. Hopefully that's enough. If it's not, sad times. And then over here, we've got some more shots set up to kind of go into there. Kind of like a little bit of a move block and screen with the troops. Alex chose not to overwatch anyway, which was very kind of him. And so yeah, we'll see if these guys are still standing next. Harlequin turn 2 is complete. So we killed all of the bikers apart from the chaplain. So we do now hold that point. So I score my card, which is very nice. The Bolas went huge over here and picked up 3 of the chaps, and then a lot of shooting went in, and these guys won a 2-up save, and I killed 2 because the Void Weaver's good. So that is that, and then Alex has picked up 1 of his 5-mans. He's also got a 10-man to drop in somewhere and cause some carnage as well, so that's all very exciting. I am a bit exposed now, so we'll see what the Deathwatch can do with their shooting as we move into the bottom of turn 2. The Deathwatch have drawn Cleanse and Investigate Signals. A Deathwatch movement phase for turn 2 is complete. What's the plan, Alex?
So starting the Terminators, they have now moved forward, and we're just going to try and stand on the point again.
Nice.
Ran over some Harlequins on the way. The Eradicators have moved out, so if the Incarn decides to walk in, I'm going to shoot it with Eradicators, and there is only so many 4+s in the game.
In theory.
In theory, the Dreadnought and the Watchmaster have moved to the middle objective, just cleanse and try and hold some primary. Whilst the other units are just spread out again, trying to clear primary points, see if I can do some cleansing. And the unit of kill teams that I picked up at the end of my turn has turned up a 6 point not a lot inches away from where they were to investigate our home signal.
Very nice. And I phantasm for 2 CP because Effect these guys back around here out of line of sight. So we'll come and let you know how the grand scheme gets on. Watch turn 2 is over. How did it go, Alex?
I killed some units, I moved on to some points.
Excellent.
But I didn't score many points, is how it's gone. So I cleansed in the middle with the Dreadnought. The lads did the investigate and didn't get shot off whilst doing it.
Yep.
Made a few charges, so we got charge, killed the Void Weaver and one of the guys up here. Nearly got the other biker. Did get the Void Weaver over here and the Harlequin troop. And then got charged, and then the Incarn turned up.
Hey guys! And
So,
you picked up two
guys, failed to kill a third somehow.
Because I rolled a 1 on the damage, sad times. So there, let's see if the Harlequins can keep building up their lead, which is all about the points. All about the points. But Alex does still have a 10-man to drop in as well. In turn 3, the Harlequins are trying to score overwhelming force and bring it down. Okay, movement phase is complete. Over this side, we fell back with this bike, and we're going to try and kill some stuff over here. We've got the Solitaire out, and we're just going to try and score our overwhelming force. This Void Weaver has just managed to get his fin down to try and kill the Contemptor for Bring It Down. We've left it alive for Bring It Down, so I'm glad that finally came up as a card. Over here, we've brought out the 12-man to play. We're going to see what dent we can put in these guys. The Incarn's fallen back, but can shoot and charge for 1 CP. Did get overwatched by the Terminators and took 3 wounds. And Alex has rapid ingressed his 10-man brick 9 inches away over there. So these guys have lined up to kind of shoot in here or into the Eradicators, and we'll just see what damage we can cause. It's just trying to reduce Alex's scoring ability because we've obviously got a bit of a points lead at the moment. Right, Harlequin turn 3 has been and gone, and it was effective, I would say. I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. So over on, where did we start? Well, we kind of did some plinky shooting. So the first day started off badly. The Void Weaver went into Dreadnought and failed miserably at killing it, which was a bit of a problem. Then what happened was I was able to kill the Eradicators over here through Death Jester shooting, and basically Death Jester went off and got 12 shots again because he's an absolute baller, which meant the Incarn could then teleport over here, flame the Dreadnought to death, and then charge over there. Meanwhile, this 12-man managed to fire some fusion shots into the Terminators, who promptly failed all of their saves, and then I did 3 damage with pretty much all of them. And after just a little bit of shooting was gone, all the Terminators had died, bar the Chaplain, who then died in combat. Over here, the Incarn went in. Alex heroically intervened into the Incarn with his big 10-man, hoping to roll some devastating wounds. He rolled none, and the Incarn survived quite handily. We had an interesting interaction here, where the Incarn fought first, swung, killed 5 of the 10-man, and Alex was thinking about whether to interrupt or not. The thing is, if Alex doesn't interrupt, then I get to fight with my Solitaire over here, kill the 4 guys that are left. The Incarn then teleports back over here and never gets hit. So Alex realised that and interrupted over here and did hardly anything, to 2 wounds to the Incarn, who then did teleport over here anyway, just to keep things entertaining. And then over here the Chaplain died eventually. So Alex is starting to run out of stuff, and he's got a bit of a points deficit, so let's see what the Master Tactician can come up with at the bottom of turn 3. Okay, so Alex is trying to score assassination and behind enemy lines. Right, limited resources left, Alex. What are you going to be using them for?
So the Watchmaster and his frag cannon friend have advanced to get behind enemy lines. We're going to try and charge the empty Star Weaver. Just tag itself in the back end of that deployment line zone.
Yep.
We've then dropped the kill teams that were in reserve at the end of Chris' turn, ready to get some 9-inch charges and some mortar wound bolt guns into the Incarn. I spent the CP to put those into sustained hits mission tactic instead of the lethal hits across the rest of the army.
Very nice. So let's see if he can kill the Incarn for assassinate. There she is, she's so pretty. Alex, you had a big target in this turn, the Incarn. How did it go?
So I landed and I rolled a decent amount of shots on sustained hits. There is a small problem of rolling 6s here with a lot of dice. A single wound left after the bolt guns. There's a 9-inch charge with a reroll for the captain, which fails twice, and then a 9-inch charge for the other kill team, which failed again. That means there is an Incarn on 1 wound left, and that's a problem.
Ooh, what a hero, what a hero.
In better news, the Watchmaster flew over and one-shot the Star Weaver, and so is behind enemy lines.
Highly offensive, but there we go. So that is the end of round 3. Now the Harlequins are going to go and smash the monkey. We are trying to score for the Harlequins no prisoners and engage on all fronts. Okay, so we're aiming for the almost killing blow here. We've got the 12-man and the Death Jester here. We've got a Void Weaver over here, in there. The Incarn has not moved, so we can't get overwatched. It's a matter of pride now that I want the Incarn to survive. And then we've got a variety of shooting around here. Apologise for the bad light. It's just stupid windows. But hopefully we can basically finish off the scum. Right, okay. Over here, they succumbed quite quickly. And then Death Jester went quite big with 6s on devastating wounds and dropped 4 of the guys there, and the Void Weaver was able to pick them up. Then over here, the Incarn, well, boxcars on the 9-inch charge like a hero, and then the Solitaire as well did their thing and picked up those 2 characters. So I did kill 6 units that turn, technically. And Alex is left with 5 Deathwatch heroes. So what we'll do is we'll come back to you for a debrief and the final score next. Right, the battle is done. You can see the final score there right now, 100 points to 38. Alex, what are your thoughts?
I think the Harlequins do what they've done all game, all editions. Is they play the mission so well. They're still really fast. The Incarn is amazing. Addition to those, just that ability to be where you want to be. And again, yeah, you're struggling with AP1 into a lot of things, but it is still there when they don't ignore it. Yep. You can get the damage through. I think really like the Solitaire, lovely little tech piece there, can go out, kill a squad, has that decent AP, decent damage. And the Deathwatch still trying to live on Space Marine datasheets, and that's not a tough datasheet to crack, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of spoke about it, and we were like, the only different play that Alex can have realistically is send the 10 Terminators there and to try and hold the middle. But then that just gives the flanks to the Eldar, who can still go and score their points. And it is really tough. Like in terms of Harlequins, I played them for a really long time in 9th edition, and obviously I was a bit concerned that their manoeuvrability would have gone down because things like the Star Weaver now has to go basically around. But actually on these boards you can interweave enough. That combat, they still do, 12-man still does work. The Incarn just gives you so many outs there. And yeah, I was genuinely really impressed with the Solitaire. So that was a really nice piece of tech. And the Death Jester just kept rolling 6s.
Well, he didn't roll 6s, he made some 6s and rolled 1.
6s, yeah. But he definitely got the 12 shots once, and devastating wounds with large amounts of dice. is a thing.
And the Void Weavers were good.
Yeah, I was actually also really impressed with Void Weavers. And if you think that in a general Eldar list, you could take 3 Void Weavers for the cost of 2 Fiberisms, I think there's definitely some play there, and I'm going to be investigating that in my Eldar list. So I was a bit concerned that compared to having played Eldar since the start of 10th, that there would be issues, and lack of CP was a thing. The lack of what to use my fate dice on, but actually you just guarantee a few things, and I had just enough there. But no, it was a fun game. Alex was an absolute gent. He knows his stuff, certainly taught me a thing or two. And hopefully you have enjoyed this bite-sized bat rep. If you have, consider giving us a like and subscribe. And we will see you again very soon. Bye.
Bye.